All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Fitness Podcast. It's been like 3.5 months. We did the 48-hour run and to raise money for my mother-in-law who was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And then we had a baby. And then we had a bunch of changes with leadership in the gym, and we have some big changes coming up. And change is the word right now with like every aspect of my life. We're going to try a bunch of new shit, and I'm pretty excited about it. The solo podcast, this is the big Think Big, Live Better version of the podcast. So this is the solo, and then we'll also have guests. So, we'll go back and forth. But this solo podcast, I really want to make more about modern, not modern, but more recent like news stories and science and shit like that, and just kind of shit on it all, shit on all of it, because I think it's all completely ridiculous. Not all of it, most of it. I think most of it's kind of ridiculous. And so I want to kind of just talk about why it's ridiculous. There's a lot of shit out there that in fitness, and people always ask me, Jordan, should I do the keto diet? And I'm just like, just starve yourself, for example. And this is not where I wanted to go, but this is where we're going to start, is that if you ask me about the keto diet, you're asking me about putting yourself into ketoacidosis, which, by the way, is a emergency response to starving your body of an essential macronutrient. That's what I usually tell people. I'm like, hey, you're cutting so many carbs that your body is in an emergency state. They're like, but I'm hyper focused. I'm like, that's usually what happens when you're starving. You get hyper focused for a little bit, so you go find some food. It's an emergency response. That is not a way to lose weight, all right? That could be used for some things in special populations, but if you're looking to lose 20 pounds, you don't need to starve yourself of an essential macronutrient. And the key word there, folks, is essential. But that's what I'm talking about. It's all this shit that's totally ridiculous that you see. You're like, I don't know, they're telling me I can't eat bananas, but then they're telling me I can eat bananas. And it's like, do I eat bananas? And it's like, dude, you know what you do? You eat real fucking food. That's what you eat. Well, it's got sugar in it. But is it real? Is it real food? That's all you really have to, that's all you have to do. Is it fucking real? Eat the real stuff. The problem is the fake stuff. For example, if somebody comes to me and they say, hey, can I, what about the diet soda? It's like the diet soda, because it has no sugar and it's got no calories. And it's like, dude, anything you're ingesting from a fucking aluminum can that has 0 calories, but still tastes like it's sugar in there, not good. It's just going to melt it's like 0 calories, but it just melts your organs. So it's like, which one are you looking for? So it's like that kind of stuff. And why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? So I want to talk about the newest science that's coming out, and just give you my take on that. And new stories that are coming out around fitness. And then, we'll see what we can do from there. But, basically, that's what this version of the podcast will be moving forward. It's the Think Big, Live Better podcast. It's what I'm calling it, but it's the solo version of the podcast. We're going to do these maybe every other to maybe every third, or, for the next couple, will probably be solos until we get some guests back on the show. So in any case, that's what you have to look forward to there. For everybody who paid attention and followed the the fundraiser for my mother-in-law, the 48-hour run. So the goal was 200 miles, and also to raise 15,000. And basically we quadrupled that total amount of money. So we totally crushed the goal, but we only ran 170 miles nonstop. Now, we did a podcast with the whole with the whole crew to do that, but that podcast never got edited. So we were never able to actually publish that podcast. We did it with everybody. We might do it in the future. It's a little far now, but we just weren't able to get that edited and out, which I really, really wish, because it was so good. And my brother was getting emotional on there, and we were talking about what's going on in that whole situation, running 48 hours nonstop. We never stopped longer than 120 seconds at any point in 48 hours, and I just kept running. So I got 170 miles. we were running out of time, but my legs, my body, my soul was all sort of melted. So we are just trying to keep moving was the goal at some point. And in any case, we say all that in that podcast, and that's how I was going to basically tell everybody about the actual run itself. I still think 170 is an accomplishment, but we did hit the 200-mile goal. We did quadruple the fundraiser goal. So thank you to everybody who donated that, that followed that showed up to the benefit and donated. Like, you guys are all incredible, and that was really successful. So we did it, and thank you for that. And it was a crazy ride. It was an incredible ride, and the crew who followed me for 48 hours behind in a Jeep, going 4 miles per hour just on the countryside in the Illinois countryside like that. They had a harder time. They were going through more than I was going through. Those crew members. So they had their stories of like being in the van or being in the Jeep and stuff. And like I say, maybe one of these days I'll try to get somebody out and just see what basically. One second. What's up, my man? Sorry, right now we're doing a podcast. But I mean, how long are you gonna be? Okay, real quick.
Do you have a USB-C cable? Because I'm going to charge my batteries while we're doing this. So
USB-C. There's
like a common charger for...
Yeah, there's one over there. And dude, next time we just... That simple as that. Oh, man. Well, folks, look. So... Oh, man, I lost track where I was at. We're going to have to cut all this out. Or not. Or keep this. This is real. This is real. This is real. This is actually what I'm going to get into a little bit today. Like, I'm going to get into the new fitness. It's just a handful of stories from the fitness industry that have come up, and some new, some new science that's coming up. All of it will be probably incredibly boring, but I'm trying this out, so we're going to see what we'll get into there. But yeah, this is what it is all about, guys. This is what it is all about. You roll with the fucking punches out here in life. Me and Liam were talking about this before we started the podcast. That like life just fucking doesn't give you a fucking break, dude. You get a good plan going, and then guess what happens to your plan? It totally gets fucked up, and you're like, oh my God, but my plan. You need a plan, but it's never gonna happen the way that you have it. You have it scheduled out. You have this plan of 10 things you want to do, and you're going to do this at this time, and this at this time, and this at this time, and this on this day, and this on this week, and this on this year, and then like boom, a fucking bus comes through the front of your fucking your storefront, and fucking fire in your bathroom, dude, and you're just like, whoa, dude, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? And you're just, you just gotta do it. You just gotta do it. You gotta find a way to have the grit to continue planning your plan. If you can work your plan to 80%, you're a killer. The killers in this world, we know. The killers in this world are 83% efficient. 83% efficient. If you're a killer, top of the line, apex fucking predator out there in the world, you are at 83% efficiency. Those guys plan like on top of their plan. It's the inception of planning of what these people are doing, and they're still 83% efficient, which means if I give them 10 tasks, I know that they can come back with 8 tasks done on average. That's top tier execution, and they're planning. If you're not planning, then you're probably more like 10, maybe 15%. So you're getting like maybe 1, 2, maybe 30% on your execution, but you're leaving it all in your brain because shit's going to happen. Like imagine like you're going to work out like 3 times a week, right? Okay. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to do it at 5 p.m. You're already like ahead of most people, but let's say you're going to try to work out 3, that's the goal, 3 times a week. And you don't plan. Well, Monday comes and you're like, I'm going to work on a Monday. You get off, you go to work, you get off work, and then boom, some shit happens. Somebody shows up to the house, you didn't know they were going to be there, and they fucking set your cat on fire, and your cat fucking runs out the back, and you're trying to save your cat, and like, guess what happens to your workout? Dude, you didn't expect the cat was gonna, but like, it could also be like, it's garbage day, didn't think about that, or it's XYZ, and I didn't think about that, and so then it kind of gets in the way of your workout that you were going to do on Monday. Now you didn't do workout on Monday. Well, I do it tomorrow, but you still don't plan tomorrow. And like, because you're just like, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll work out tomorrow. I've got an open day. It probably won't be so bad. And then like you go to tomorrow, and then the same thing happens. Something happens because you didn't like sit down to plan it. The best a plan can do for you is like set like a solid intention. Set a solid intention, and that is it. Because living intentional is like key to winning at all ever. And regardless, and you know what? Maybe this is perfect for this podcast, is to maybe talk on that a little bit before I get into these stories, because like, what the fuck is like, you will not accomplish anything in fitness, but you will not accomplish anything in life unless you set a daily intention, a weekly, a yearly intention. Every minute, like, you're living intentionally. And if you're not doing that, then anything can really happen. And planning is just setting the intention. And your plan is going to fail like every time you do it. And you'll get better at it. But you need to like set time to plan. That's setting the intention. And then in the morning, you need to be like, this is going to be my day. I'm going to do this. Layer it. So where it's like, no matter what happens today, I'm going to be fucking excited. I'm going to be fucking excited in every single engagement. I'm just going to be excited. I'm going to be happy to do it. So that way when life happens, like, you can still be excited because you set the intention, you can live intentionally. If you don't do that, like, you'll just be living emotionally. And if you live emotionally, you're going to get caught up. Something's going to happen and you're just going to react on your emotion. You're going to have no ability to like, one, be aware of what's happening in you, but two, on how you want to maybe direct course from when you feel the thing. And if you're irritated, then you're going to fucking have some kind of reaction if you don't set the intention to be excited, or, to be whatever it is that you want to be. It's like, how could you be that thing after you are irritated and something comes in, irritates you some more? It's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult. And so like planning is everything. And being intentional about what you're doing is everything, so that when you're trying to get through the jungle of life with a fucking machete, you can like not get caught up when the fucking jaguar jumps out the tree, and you got to like fight it with the machete down and just keep pushing into it. Cause that's life. Life is the jungle, dude. Life is a fucking jungle. And that's a perfect place for me to talk about, like, the quote, to start with the quote to start with the quote for the podcast, and then get into the boring shit that I was going to do before I started ranting, because I got somebody in my fucking bathroom who said they were going to take 5 minutes and they're taking longer than that. And I don't know what the fuck they're doing in there. So like, that's downtown Wash Ave though. That's downtown Wash Ave, and it's just what you deal with. That's just what you deal with. Liam's like, shit, man, here we go. We're getting into it. But like, that's what I'm saying. I've got no time. I've got a baby at home. So this right here, like, let's just record, like, for the first podcast, dude, what happens? We have a plan. We've got it all written down. We've spent hours talking about it. We've got a contract put together. This is going to be fucked up, and it's going to be just fine. We're still putting this out there. And we're just going to show up Monday next week and do the same thing. And we're just going to do that and do that and do that and do that and do that. But like, may this be the record. For the record, this is fucking what winning looks like. This is the reality of fucking winning. You know what the reality of fucking winning is? It's ugly. It's ugly. It's just, you just get it done. It looks terrible. In the same way that fitness looks terrible when you're trying to, I always get this. People say this to me. They say, Jordan, I really want to work with you, man, but I got to get fit first. Let me get my shit going. let me get my fitness back, and then I'm gonna come in there with you. And it's like, you are totally missing the fucking point. You could have like COPD and be literally dying. Like dying. I mean, on your fucking deathbed, you could come work out with me right now today. You could do that. That's a thing you could do. And you're choosing not to do that, but you're putting a layer. You're putting a layer down, you know? But you can always come. You can always come and you can always do, and it's gonna be ugly. And that's the thing. I've been talking about this a lot, but it's like, you know, you're waiting for like the perfect time. You're waiting for, you have all the resources. You're waiting for, you know, well, once I'm here or once I'm there, or once I'm, you know, but like if what's this thing and just when that happens, you know, it's like, just do it. And it's like, well, I can't just do it because I'm going to fail. And it's like, yes. Well, I can't fail. Like, I don't want to fail. You know, the idea that you can work smarter, not harder. You know, I love that. You know, it falls right into this. Like working smarter, not harder is the dumbest fucking bullshit I've ever heard in my life. And this is why. Working smarter instead of working harder, right? Like this delusion, this idea that you can already know the things that you would need to do to not have to work hard before you start working is incredibly dumb. You don't know how to work. You don't know how to work smarter. That would require you to have done this thing before. But if you've never done this thing before, you can't work smarter. You have to work harder. And working harder just means just do the damn thing, fail at it a shit ton. And I just put up a post about this. I hate like going over this over and over and over and over again. But it's like one of these things in fitness that it's just very difficult because like people, they don't get that part of it. That part of like improving in anything and having anything is that like if you didn't have it before, if you haven't done it before, the only thing to do is to work harder. And it's like, don't ask people, hey, what are the things I should look out for? How should I not fail? How can I, basically the idea is like, you know, when you hear this, when you hear like, hey, learn from our mistakes and like save yourself some time, you will never save yourself some fucking time by listening to some charlatan that you can like do something quicker without hard work. You know, there's no copy and paste to success, real success in fitness, success in life, success in finances, success in relationships, success in spiritual, all of it. It requires a journey of suffering. And you want that. You actually want that. Even if you don't know you want that, that's what you want. You don't want the car. You want the story of how hard it was for you to get the car. That's what you want. You don't want the car. You don't want the gym. You want the story of how hard it was to build the gym. You know, you don't want the fit body. You want the fucking story about how hard it was for you to do that. You know, you'll probably have a friend who like got everything his whole life. Like, he grew up in the, you know, in that development or that cul-de-sac or whatever the hell where all the nice houses are, and his parents owned the fucking insurance company or whatever. And like he had a fucking convertible Audi or something when he was in high school, and he came in and you guys fucking hated his guts, even though he's your buddy. And you're like, that motherfucker, dude, he didn't pay for that. His fucking parents gave him that car. And then his fucking ass comes in and goes, dude, first thing he says, check out the whip. I bought it with my own money. What do you think that is? Like when they say that, when somebody says that, and you've heard somebody say that, something along those lines, you've got that friend or that person you know, and you probably hate their guts. Like, and you know what, dude, I wish I was that fucking person, dude, by the way. What a fucking, I mean, we're all going to deal with mental anguish, but like, be nice to have a convertible Audi and be fucking dealing with the anguish. You know, I don't dude, I don't blame those fucking people at all. If I was in that, look, if you gave me a convertible Audi, my parents, when I was in high school, I'd run around saying my parents gave me this fucking Audi. I didn't move a finger, bitches. Be like, look how fucking dope this is. And guess what? I kicked it on the couch all last night, played Call of Duty. And they were like, here's for your birthday. And I was like, Mom, no fucking way. You guys are fucking awesome. That's what I would say to like everybody. I wouldn't say I worked for it. I'm just kidding. I probably would be just like them. And I would say I worked for it and bought it with my own money, because you'd have an insecurity built around like you didn't actually earn the thing, because you're looking for the story of overcoming something difficult. That's the value. That is the value that you get from fitness. That's the value you get from life. That's why life should be difficult. Because if it was easy, you wouldn't have no way to build any like feeling of fulfillment. Fulfillment comes from you overcoming the obstacles. The obstacles are there and they challenge you, and it's a good thing. You know, it is not a bad thing. And so keep that all in mind. And we're gonna continue from here in a second. Take it easy. Yeah, let's make that a mainstay. Let's make that a mainstay. We'll do that every podcast if we're doing this at night. You know, and it's at night. If it's at night, it's homeless people. And if it's during the day, it's like cops and robbers. But there's like, you can't do a podcast without something happening here. It's never been possible. You can't do anything. Dude, in 5.5 years of doing this podcast, 5.5 years of running this gym and being a personal trainer down here, and like, you know, building a team and, you know, doing this podcast, it's like there's never a fucking day that goes on down here where it's like there's not some kind of fun to be had, you know. So it keeps you on your toes. But that's what I'm saying though. This is what I'm fucking saying. This is what I'm saying though. Like you want it to be difficult. You want it to be difficult, man. You don't want it to be easy. And the problem is everybody's looking for it to be easy. And like, I'm literally going to go over a story about Ozempic today. You want it to be easy, dude. You want it to be fucking easy. You're looking for, that's how you perceive value. You perceive value in an equation that's like your dream outcome times basically your perceived likelihood of achievement divided by the time delay times effort and sacrifice. You want your dream body guaranteed under 30 days with no effort or sacrifice equals highest possible value, i.e. Ozempic. And why it is now like reaching a market cap of $50 billion fucking dollars and literally shaping the fitness industry in the way that like you have to talk to people now, because like people think that is fitness. People think that is valuable. Value is no effort and sacrifice. It's no time delay. We want it now. And if I can get it to you now, that's of higher value. But of course that's not. Of course that's not. If you know somebody who's taking Ozempic and they've lost 20 fucking pounds and they've done it in 15 days, what do you say to them? What's that fucking song? Oh, Ozempic, we know you didn't do that on your own, or some shit like that. Because they're making fun of you because you're a dick and you fucking are poisoning yourself to lose weight. And you're telling everybody it's the new thing you're doing in fitness, your fucking fitness journey. That's not fitness. That's your way to like increased health. Now you can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care what you do, but I'm just saying, I don't care if you double the dose of Ozempic. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I really don't care what you do. I'm just saying it's interesting. Like a lot of the science that's coming out around that. And like, I think it is probably good for you to know that you are poisoning yourself. That is actually not good for you to do. From what we know, at this point, when it comes to Ozempic, at this point, I think it is probably good to assume or project that in the next 30 years, maybe less, maybe 20, maybe 10 years. So I'll put it on record that people are going to be getting like fucking different organ cancers and different brain cancer. All sorts of shit's going to happen to you. It's going to be bad. And there's going to be a huge lawsuit that they let this thing happen, because they're trying right now to get it to basically be, they're trying to get it to where it is, that it is approved for preventative. They're like, yo, your kid might get fat. You might get fat. Preventative care, you know? And then like they estimate that by 2030 that Ozempic alone, but these, what are they called? These GLP-1, proteins basically are going to have a market cap of something like $200 billion, if not more than that, if they can get that approval. So, and it's funny because it goes right along with that fitness equation. And I had a client today. I was training one of my clients. He's an aerospace engineer. And we were talking about this. This is why it's on my mind. We were talking about this specific thing because I had put these notes together for the podcast. And basically, we were talking about it like literally gyms are fucking changing. Like gyms are literally changing the equipment that they have in their facilities because people can't do cardio anymore because so many people are on Ozempic and they're like, it like upsets their stomach and it makes them get nauseous and it makes them puke. So they can't really elevate their heart rate. They just get nauseous. So they're like lifting weights. And also because they're just like losing all of their lean mass. It's like, this is basically just sucking out all the lean mass from their body. So I'm going to read these stories to you guys, but I'm just like explaining this to them. Like the opposite of how you view value, you estimate value is true for how you actually get value from fitness. And that's, that's basically the gig. We get a personal trainer, they're going to put you through hell. And that's the point. The pain is the point. Like we're here to go to fucking war with you. That is what you're buying. You're not buying the body. You're not buying the success. You're not buying the reward. You're buying the opportunity to go to battle with yourself and somebody's going to do it with you. That's what personal training is. That's a real personal trainer. And look, you could have somebody who will teach you how to do a good form back squat, teach you how to use a barbell, teach you how to fucking push a sled, teach you how to do a bicep curl with your elbows in the right position, and can tell you how to do a fucking pull up with the right scapula. Fucking who gives a shit? And what's going to happen is you're going to go fucking nowhere because you're going to think it's about the right scapula. Fucking where is it at? Is my fucking scapula right? Do I have the right scapula? Yeah, where's my knee placement? I pay to know where the knee placement in my squat. Is it here? Is it there? Is it going to optimize and change my life if my fucking heel stays on the ground when I go into a fucking 90-degree back squat? The answer is fuck no, dude. It's not going to change your life at all because that's not the value in personal training. It's like a small portion of value, okay? I'm going to go back on that. It's more small portion of value. You should definitely be working out with good form. But if you think that's going to change your life, it's going to really do something monumental, you're fucking wrong. The thing is we go to battle with you, man, when it's all not working. When everything isn't working, we're there with you. When everything inevitably sucks for you, we're here for you. When everything fucking sucks, when like the things that are happening in your life are fucked, and when you get injured, and when like you don't have the money because you lost a job and you need to do the thing, whatever it is, like we're here to go to war with you because that's it. That's what me and Liam were talking about. That's what we were talking about here. And it's all incredibly painful. What are you doing to get yourself ready for that? What are you doing to get yourself ready for that? That is like what today's fucking podcast, which will never actually get to like anything I actually prepared. But like, that is what this whole thing is about. If you wanted to know what this podcast was in like one rant, it's like, I wish that people could just see that if they were willing to believe in themselves, even in the hardest of times where no one believes in you, no one's following you, no one's paying attention to you, everything verifiably isn't working for you. You feel hopeless, you feel afraid, you feel worried, you feel doubt creeping in through every fucking orifice of your body, that you continue to fucking push through it. And not only push through it, but you push through it with a smile, knowing that like, because you don't quit, you will by default build the strength to be a fucking champion. And so if you just accepted it, like you would fucking win. And that's Carl Jung. Quote from Carl Jung: people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. That's Carl Jung. I was going to open up the podcast with that, quote, but we had homeless walking in. So we were like, so we went on a rant. We went on a rant instead. So like, yeah, it's that. Yeah, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. Carl Jung. What does that mean? And if you guys don't know Carl Jung, look it up. I'm not going to talk about it right now. I got that from ChatGPT. Okay, and if it wouldn't be from ChatGPT, it'd be from Instagram. And if you don't, dude, if you judge me for that, fuck you. That's where all your quotes come from too. And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Okay. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think maybe the only good thing about Instagram is that like you could see what Marcus Aurelius was fucking thinking back in like 3000 BC. You could see what he was when he was like walking armies into like a Celtic like battlefield, going against the fucking Vikings to like take over a wood fort. Like they heard. Have you ever heard a Celtic war horn? It's the most terrifying fucking thing you could ever possibly. Marcus Aurelius was doing that. We could see his thoughts, what he was thinking. Should you fucking imagine that? Should you imagine that? Being a fucking general of a medieval army, and you're moving towards a Celtic, or not Celtic, but you're moving towards like these Vikings, these savage Vikings that are like, they play this fucking horn. It's like, do you know what? We're gonna fucking find one. We're gonna find it on YouTube. But like literally, man, and I gotta connect this because you guys are gonna really be able to YouTube. Oh yeah. Yeah, we need you. This is where we need Leah. Like, take a note. This is where we need you to be able to do this, because we need to be able to show these people Celtic Warhorn. See if we can find one of them fuckers. Oh my God. Guys, what the hell? Okay, picture this. All right, picture this. You're standing next to fucking Marcus Aurelius. You're a fucking private. You're nobody. He's right in front of you, and you've got a fucking spear, dude. And you were like a farmer before. You're like a little farmer. Like you didn't even, but you were like, I believe in the cause or something. Maybe you did, or maybe you're a slave. What, I don't know how they did it, but like. Marcus Aurelius is like, we're gonna take the village. I mean, he's like fucking, and he's there too, because back in the day there was like merit. These men, they would get in front of they'd get out there in the field of battle, dude, with a sword. And I don't even know if that's true. That's probably not even real. It's just in the stories. No leader ever actually went to the battlefield, but they had somebody there that like no one would remember because everyone fucking died in the most savage way possible. They needed like an actor out there. So anyways, because if they died, because there's no way you would make it out. Okay. If you were in front and you were charging against like savages coming at you, right? And you were meant to fight them bare hands or with a fucking sword, you ain't getting out of that alive. You're not coming back. And so they needed like Marcus Aurelius had a guy out there, because they didn't even take pictures of video back then. I mean, best you could, if you didn't like live and actually see him, which you never would, it would just be hearsay or like etched into stone. You'd be like, oh yeah, I think that's, you've got your tablet, you look over and you're just, anyways, you wouldn't know. So I doubt it was, but okay. And he's like, all right, we're gonna fucking go. And you're like, holy shit, you're pissing your pants, literally, because you have like a spear or whatever, or you're the guy who just holds the flag, and you see this fucking mass of people in the through the fog in the battlefield, and you just hear fucking this come out of the trees, dude. Ready? Oh, yeah, dude, that's the fucking demons coming for you. Okay? Yeah, that's what people were up against back in the day. You're trying to fucking lose 20 pounds, okay? That's what fucking... that's what Instagram is good for. That is what Instagram is good for. Instagram is good for... You can see what the guy who led an army into that was thinking, which will be the best possible value you could fucking consume. And it's in a fucking nice 30-second Instagram reel, just delivered perfectly to your palate. You just take it in and ingest it. And then the next one's a fucking dog doing like a backflip, like wearing, it's something fucking, like a cat is like fucking meowing the ABCs. It's just, but it's not, that's not what the podcast is supposed to be about. So just, all right, that's what I'm trying to say. You have to be able to understand we are so far away from that, but like that's how you win though. You win through going into the fucking battlefield, man. In the battle, there is no getting out without gashes and without cuts and bruises. But you should be, you should do your best to protect yourself from that, But you should not be timid, and you should have the courage to push into that, because the utility is to survive that. Utility is to survive that, and then you're going to be strong enough to be the person that you want to be. But like that's it. Like that's it. You're constantly looking online to find the 10-step thing that's going to fucking be the easiest route towards your success. That's killing you. And they'll fucking give it to you, and they'll give it to you perfectly. And it's just not going to end up that way. That's the main point, and that just happened. That rant came because that guy came through, and I was just like, God damn it. Can we just have a, I was getting into it in my own brain. I was like, can we just have a podcast where like things can be set up and we just jump on, we hit record, and we just do something flawlessly and it just works out? And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. This is what winning looks like. Winning looks like this. Winning is ugly. It's spontaneous. It's a complete garbage fire. You just need to survive to fight the next day, and that's it. And if you can do that, like I'm telling you, like that is it. That is it. You show up late and you miss a thing, and you lose a client, or you lose a trainer, or whatever. Like what, you miss a day. Gives a fuck. I missed 3.5 months on this podcast because of life really happened. And I did not know what having a baby was going to be. I had a plan to keep everything going, and it totally derailed me. It was hard to fight back. But the thing is fight back to it. On top of multiple other things. I'm still failing today. It's going to happen. It's good. It's part of your journey. And when you write your story, because you never quit, like the reason why people will turn the page of your story is because you decided no matter what, you will not voluntarily quit. That's it. Here's the thing I want. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I want. At least in the direction, I'm going to live with these 3 core values, and I'm going to follow this. I'm going to make all my decisions, and I'm just never going to quit. And as long as you just never quit, you'll make it. You'll eventually make it. Because every year, the rest of the people that you're competing with, because you are competing, they fall off because there's too much. It's too heavy. It's too much. It's too much volume. It's like I'm not getting my 8 hours, or like, man, this is frustrating because I can't get enough food in because whatever. I work with Deb. She's a fucking bitch. Every time I go into work, Deb fucking says something about my clothes. And like, I hate it. And she knows, dude. She fucking knows I hate green. I chose green. She said, oh, you chose green today. But I just walk past her, dude. And the rest of my day sucks because I got to deal with fucking Deb at the front desk. Dude, I would look at Deb if I had a Deb. If I had a Deb, dude. You realize what I'd fucking do if I had a Deb? I'd be so happy with a Deb. Because I always like people who are incredibly difficult. People who are incredibly difficult and downright impossible. Like the people who are just mean, dude, to be mean, or somebody who's like just generally like they have a lot of money and so they talk down to everybody because like you don't have as much money as them. Actually, I love people like that. They're the easiest. They're the easiest to win over, dude. They're the easiest to read. It is fun. It's fun to learn how to communicate with people who are incredibly difficult. If you can communicate with somebody who is like a complete asshole to everybody all the time, including you, and tries to hit your insecurities, but every time they do, they fucking hit it on target. They hit every one of your, because they're really good at sniffing out your weaknesses, and they get them, and then they hit them every time that you're fucking in front of them. I know somebody like this. They do it, dude. They'll fucking this person I'm talking about. They'll trip dude. They will trip a disabled. They will trip a disabled. They would do it, and they would laugh at the disabled, and they'd hope that the disabled felt bad about it. It's the kind of person, and they'll find it, dude. I mean, dude, you could walk in, you could have cancer, and they'd be like, "Oh, wait, I saw that your hair's you did a different hairdo." And it's like, fucking, legitimately, I'm not joking about this, watched that happen. And it blew me a fucking way. I was like, are you serious? Anyways, I was like, this is crazy. You'll have that. I love those people because their psychology is like out of this world. If you don't let it affect you because it doesn't mean anything or matter, you can really, God, you could. But it's only because you just kept going. You just kept putting yourself in front of those people. And then those people become fun. And then you hope to help those people in the future, but you would never, not up front, those people, they beat you down bad, fucking suck your energy out. And then in your mind, it's like, well, there's just no way because Barb, dude, fucking Barb. And I think that's what Young is saying here. You know, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul, dude. You know, if you have the courage to ask yourself, like, you know, I said this earlier today. I said the most interesting person you may ever meet is yourself. Yeah. One of the most, and I think that's right, one of the most interesting, fascinating people you will ever meet in your entire life. No matter how many fucking Hollywood dipshits or how many stupid fucking back fucking lot, VIP, dumb, worthless, whatever. Sure, fun. The most interesting person by far, bar none, is yourself. But it's like the one person that, like, we are so terrified, you know, to square up on, you know, because like everyone else, it's easy. We got a story. Like, this person's perfect. To put them up on a pedestal. They got it perfect. They did all the stuff. You know, that's why we get resentful, because we're like, some of these people, they just look like they do it effortlessly. And you know, that's really what works, is to make it look effortless. You know, the more effortless it looks, the more you desire it, the more you pay attention, the more they get, you know, that person gets, the more followers they get, XYZ, but they're going through all the bullshit that you're going through. Same exact thing. They're just another person, but they're just better at fucking hiding their shit. I mean, I'm not going to do a whole Goggins bit. All right. Cause I know you saw the clip, but like my thought is it's 100% right. You're putting everybody else on a pedestal and you love that shit. But you have to be able to square up on yourself. You have to be able to confront yourself, and you will not be able to make any change in life until you do so. And that's like end of story. So yeah, I guess I could go through this real quick. I'll finish up on this. Cause we're rolling up on it. We're rolling about 42 minutes right now. So probably best I finish up on this, but yeah, I went on a rant. The homeless guy's gone. So we're safe now. We had 18 minutes here. So let's get into it. So this is what I'm talking about this podcast. Okay, I want to kind of put some sections into it and kind of just talk on some of this stuff and just kind of see what's up. So the first thing is, and I'll do like 1 to 3 stories. Right now I got one story, and if like you start listening to this podcast, I'm cool for anybody to throw a story, but I want like recent science, you know, some of the more recent science that's in the fitness space, and I just kind of want to unpack it a little bit. So let's see. We got from the Times Magazine. No, you can't count on exercise to lose weight. That's the fucking headline. That's the headline. That's the fucking headline. And by the way, I read this whole article, and I'm going to explain some of this stuff, and none of that is really what the article says. And they know that. So this is a classic clickbait fucking piece of shit article, right? So like this is what they know. 93% of US adults will read a headline and no more than 3 sentences into any article. Okay. So you're easily, like, you listening right now this far into this podcast. Yes, that's you for sure. It's me too, unfortunately, because we're both dipshits. So we probably fit into that. If it's not in a 15 seconds of the video that we're watching, we missed it. So like, if you're not doing deep research on ChatGPT and reading the bullet points, yeah, you don't really know what the article said. And in a commercial lease, they know this as well. This is why, like, literally, like, in your next lease that you sign, actually look through the document Actually look through the document, okay? And there will be guaranteed a clause in there. It will be called the headlines clause. And the headlines clause basically states in its word magic that basically the headline has it says, and it states legally, the headline has nothing to do with what's written under it. It doesn't have to. It doesn't hold any legal. It doesn't hold any legal. Nothing. It's just there to kind of organize this information, like the caption under it, like not the caption, but like the actual clause that's written under it is the only thing. And you're not gonna read that unless you like run it through ChatGPT, but that'll take you like 28 hours of doing every single one. So that's why you have to hire a lawyer. Now AI might get rid of this, but what I'm saying though is that they know that. And so they put bullshit under the headline, and then you're only going to read the headline. And you're not going to read more than 3 sentences in. 9 out of 10 people, they're only dealing with like 7% of people who like actually read the shit and try to understand the lease. So like you don't know what that lease says, but you also don't know what this fucking article says. No, you can't count on exercise to lose weight. You can't. Science shows. It's like, fuck you, dude. That's clickbait bullshit. Because you want to hear that. God, you want to hear that. Dude, you would want, like, if you listen to this podcast, if you listen to this podcast, this whole thing, you just can't wait, like, for there to be, like, a piece of information out there that just shows that, like, hard work is actually just negative and bad and backwards. Doesn't help you. It's actually worse. So that you could just, like, fucking stab me in the fucking jugular vein with it. Which would be just fine. I would love that. Look, I told you, if like I could have everything, you could just give it to me, I would take it gladly. And I wouldn't care. Like if you were like, hey, have this convertible Audi, I'd say, give it to me. I'll take it. Because at one point I didn't have a convertible Audi, and now I have a convertible Audi because you gave it to me. And then I'll tell everybody the story that I was given the convertible Audi. So I would rather have that. The unfortunate fact is that no one's going to fucking do that. And so I'm not going to be spending too much attention on that. I'm going to have to work my ass off for that convertible Audi. And I don't know if I would buy a convertible Audi. It would probably be something different. Like, I don't know, possibly a Corvette. So that's that, all right? So in any case, so this is what the Times Magazine is saying. Exercise on its own is not a very useful tool to lose weight, says Javier Gonzalez, professor of nutrition and metabolism at the University of Bath. Says dieting to consume fewer calories. Dieting to consume fewer calories than you expend is a more efficient way to shed the pounds. Now, God damn it. Okay, look, the first thing that people want to do when they start trying to like lose weight is they want to start to take things out of their life. You know, subtract the calories, you know, subtract the calories, get rid of them, subtract, you know, and ultimately what happens when you do that is you're hungry as hell. To lose 1 pound of body weight, it would require you to be at a deficit of 3,500 calories. If you were at a deficit of calories, which is you burning 500 more calories than you brought in, and you weren't exercising to increase the expenditure, at least in a regular range, then in 1 week of getting after it and being at a deficit of 500 calories from your normal calorie intake, which is anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 calories, you would lose 1 pound of body weight. That's equivalent to you taking out 1 meal. So right now, if you're listening to this, think about the 3 meals that you have on a regular basis, or just think about the meals that you have. Okay. Now just subtract one of those every day for the next 7 days. Do nothing else. Tell me how easy that is for you. Just you like your dinner when you get home, you're not having it. You're not having it. How are you going to feel? Probably going to be thinking about it when you're going to bed every single fucking night. Everyone. So like just a deficit of calories. Okay. Does not work. Absolutely doesn't work. And then the deficit of calories plus the exercise, which is this next bit here from his colleague, Herman Poncer. evolutionary anthropologist and metabolism scientist. I mean, I love that. I love that. These people don't know shit about fuck. These guys. This guy, Herman Pontzer, an evolutionary anthropologist and metabolism scientist, and knows nothing about shit. And his colleagues at Duke University in North Carolina. Yeah. Guys. This shit is like published. Like they have these guys in this article, you can go to the science that they actually have published in this journal. And it's all garbage. Let me read this to you real quick. So, measured the energy expenditure of members of the Hadza tribe, hunter-gatherers from Tanzania. They found that although the Hadza were active for much of the day, the number of calories they burnt was similar to a quote-unquote couch potato once data was adjusted for body size and other factors. This was interesting because the idea is that these guys are working all day like crazy and they're burning less calories than somebody who is a couch potato, in like a first world country. They do something a little bit more recent. So they do this, they kind of go to the extreme here. In a more recent study from these guys, a paper in the journal, this is from the journal, Science Advances. Pantzer and his team looked at the calorie burning of ultra endurance runners who run about 150 miles a week for 20 weeks in a transcendental race. Surprisingly, even they burn relatively the same number of calories as a sedentary person. Panzer's theory is that the effect is down to what he calls constrained total energy expenditure. The more calories we burn during regular exercise, the more internal adjustments our bodies make to compensate for the metabolism, ensuring overall calorie burning is maintained within a narrow range. So the idea is that even if you run 150 miles a week, you aren't going to lose weight. That's what this fucking article is about. And this was recent. This was like April 4th that they put this up. So this is like these guys are talking about this shit right now. Look, let me tell you something. If you run 150 miles a week, you're losing all the fucking weight you got. Okay. What is this? This is what is going out there. This is what's going out to people. I don't know if these guys have ever actually worked with somebody. I've been a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer for almost 12 years. I've owned this gym. I've worked with probably hundreds of people at this point. I've trained trainers to train people, and they've been incredibly successful with how we do this thing. It's always a matter of psychology with this type of thing. Let me just tell you something here. I'm also an ultra endurance runner, and I also train people for like any kind of ultra endurance sport, including triathlons, marathons, anything, right? Like ultra marathons would be anything above 26.2 miles, but like marathons as well, any kind of running. And let me tell you something. If you train for a triathlon right now and you eat more, you will be a lot thinner by the time you run that triathlon. Guaranteed. You will eat more. I'll tell you to eat more. The idea that weight loss comes down to maintaining a deficit in calories and that's it, is incredibly dumb. I can't think of it's just on its face it makes sense, right? But you have to think about this psychologically. Okay, if you are not working out, that's the pain bit we talked about. You've got to work out. If you don't put yourself through a workout, I don't care if that workout doesn't burn a single calorie. You got to push yourself through something very difficult on a daily or semi-daily basis for 60 minutes. And the utility is that you will then shape your behaviors at home with your friends around this thing you're doing, this ritual, so that you basically aren't wasting your time putting yourself through pain every other day. Like that's the thing, This, this like breaking it down to the to the physiology of, when we're talking about the metabolism and the physiology with the dude, like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Guys, I just want to take and just because I'm like, you're missing it. Just subtract an entire 500 calories a day. Just subtract a meal every single day. Don't work out and just see how long that lasts. You'll lose a bunch of weight. It worked well in the Holocaust. They lost a bunch of weight, didn't they? That's what happens when you skip meals. You starve yourself. Healthy. Don't do it. You don't starve yourself, folks. You add to yourself. You don't starve yourself. This is what they're saying. They're basically saying here that even if you run 150 miles a week, you're better off not doing it. Better. And I'm not saying that running 150 miles a week is something you should do. I'm just saying because that I am an ultra endurance runner. I've ran 170 miles in 48 hours. Look, I'm not like suggesting you do that unless you have like a really good reason to do that. Like the level, I will tell you, you learn something about yourself that will be deeply clear. And like, I don't know if you have any other way to attain that, but that's a different podcast. What I'm trying to say is there's no chance you're not burning calories that are going to be significant in weight loss if you're running those kind of distances. And that would require you to bring in a shit ton of calories to just maintain what the reality of running 150 miles, run 80 miles in 1 week. What's up?
Oh, the camera.
Okay. Gotcha. Sorry. Yeah, guys, we're running towards it. We only got 4 minutes left in the podcast. So I got the one story, but like, look, it's the main point here I'm trying to make is just that like there's more psychology to this thing. And the Times Magazine and this stupid article that says, no, you can't count on exercise to lose weight. It's not just exercise. The age old, is it exercise or is it nutrition? The age old, is it this or is it that? The reality is that it's both of those things. You should eat real fresh food and then you should exercise like a fucking lunatic. And you should love that. You should find a way that be active every single day intentionally. And you should do something that like gets you freaking fired up because it's incredibly healthy on every single metric. I don't think anybody refutes that. So it's just a waste of article in my mind. I mean, it's interesting. It's just a theory. They don't understand what this is. I'd like to know that separate from the very misleading, the very misleading headline. So this will be interesting. I'm going to do this every week. Fitness stories of the week. So Ozempic is transforming your gym. In the Financial Times magazine, basically, this is what I was talking about Ozempic. So the weight loss drug has a new focus on wellness and are pushing many exercise machines toward obsolescence. So this is the bit with this. So basically the sales of this, so let's take a look at this. So the runaway success of GLP-1 weight loss and diabetes drugs, which also include Wegovy and Zepbound, is hard to overstate. Sales are, and this is from the Financial Times magazine. So this is the resource here. It's hard to overstate. Sales are expected to approach $50 billion this year, 2025, making them the top-selling class of drug worldwide. That is despite global shortages, high prices, and the fact that drugs are largely available only in injectable form so far. Sales are expected to be more than double to $130 billion by year 2030 and could soon soar higher if the market will win permission to sell them as a preventative tool. So it's like if you want your kid to like not, it's like your kid is like not fat yet, but they could be because they've been eating the Oreos. You just like put them on you'll just destroy their endocrine system. So we're seeing GLP-1 users still need the gym. Studies suggest that the drug causes significant muscle loss along with fat, leading to problems with balancing their mobility, as well as saggy skin, sometimes dubbed as the Ozempic butt. So you got Ozempic butt going? Dude, I had a woman on my podcast. I can't remember. This was a ways back, but I went to her clinic. Her clinic, like she worked in big pharma. She worked in big agriculture. She was like big exec. She quit all that. She came here. She bought these things are called hydrocolonic machines. It's basically like enema, but like power washer enema. So it's not like just filling you up and then letting it go. Because like you've taken enough Ozempic to stop all the shit from moving, and you have 40 pounds of shit in your gut and it hurts so bad and nobody can get it out, only surgically or using this hydrocolonic pressure washer, and they go in your colon. And I've been to her spa, it's pretty legit. And I walked through her spa, I saw there's rooms with these things, and like, yeah, you go in there and she's full, she's booked up, dude. She's got plenty of people. So you go in there, you could lose 30 pounds of shit in one go. And they basically stick this thing in your ass and they start spreading it around. Look it up. Hydrocolonic therapy. Like, this will be amazing. Like, start investing now. This is because it totally fucks up your digestive system, slows everything down. And then because it slows down so much and it sits for so long, it creates this muck. It's kind of like a calcified sludge that just like it covers the lining of your gut. And basically it stops the communication from your microbiome, like the respiration of your microbiome. It's like sends out all these chemicals to like communicate with the brain to tell you what's going on, but it's not getting through the fucking Ozempic sludge that you have in your gut. And so you got to go to this hydrocolonic therapy thing. And she's making a lot of money doing this. And she totally quit her whole job to open up this clinic because she saw the opportunity because she worked in big pharma. She knew this was going to be huge. But she also knew the downside that they don't tell you about. And so she opened up this hydrocolonic therapy. Good for her. And I think that at the end of the day, too, and if you take this, like I don't care, but you should know this stuff. You should at least know that this is something that's possible for you, and it probably is. So there's that, right? So that's what's going on. This is interesting. So the headline is about how it's changing your gym, right? So how is Ozempic changing your gym? Right now, like all of these machines, all of these like, you know, these weird machines, like you go into a gym, go into a regular gym, right? You go in, you see all this sea of like weird machines where, you know, you sit in it and you just like push on something and you pull it. And nowadays, like, you know, the gyms that are doing it right, like the journey is the machine, dude. Like, somebody comes up to walks up to you and just goes, "Oh, dude, you got to try the Hyper 617 backsplash rear rotation. It's over there. It's got like it's very niche stuff. It's very annoying too. It's incredibly annoying and stupid. I'm sorry. It's so stupid. I'm like, who gives a shit about this? You don't need this stuff. But in any case, it's an $8,000 bicep curl machine, dude. That's the impressive part. Somebody actually bought this. That's the actual impressive part, guys. Like every time I go into an open access gym that's got this stuff, I'm like, man, I wish I had all this stuff, of course. And that's the only reason I'm talking about it, because I wish I had $8,000 to waste your time, dude. And, you know, to some degree, I would do myself. I would do bicep curls in an $8,000 bicep curl machine because you can get a bit of a better pump. But like, is $8,000? Could you imagine you just buy one of those machines? Like one of the bicep, and I'm look it up. I fuck you not. Like go to like arsenal.com. Go to like bicep curl machine. It will cost $4,500, and I'm not joking. And the only thing you can do on this thing is a bicep curl machine on a seat, a bicep in a machine. So you're like this. You sit into it, and you're like, I'm in it now. And then you just go like this. Think right now, what would you pay for? Would you pay $4,500? What would you pay? Better yet, dude, Liam, what would you pay $4,500 for? Like just one thing right now, like off the top of your head, like what is
motorcycle?
A motorcycle. Dude, you could buy a fucking motorcycle. Absolutely, dude. I got my motorcycle right out there, dude. $4,500 definitely gets you a motorcycle or a fucking bicep. That's it. And you're going to have to hire movers to get it in because the bitch weighs like 800 pounds. It weighs as much as the motorcycle. And all you can do is sit in it and fucking flex the bicep. So what are these companies doing? They're getting rid of all this shit. They're getting rid of all of it because it's stupid. No one needs it. Everyone is like, they know now that they need to like do functional exercises. So like turf, barbells, dumbbells. So the CEO here, I'm just gonna kind of just talk, you know, about this. I mean, from the article here, we're seeing greater demand for space for different functional strength stuff. Colleen Keating, CEO of Planet Fitness. That's a big one. One of the largest listed gym groups. We all know Planet Fitness told analysts in August. Even Peloton, famous for its cardio intensive biking. I'm sorry, my glasses, and I should have printed this out. We'll do this on the next one. We'll print it on the next one. Hard to read. Where are we at? Sorry, I'm almost done. Guys. I got to get through this bit. The largest listed gym groups told analysis in August. Even Peloton, famous for cardio intensive bikes, is testing an app focused on strength training. So there's a huge soar in people wanting functional fitness, but functional fitness is hard because the only utility of a $4,500 bicep curl machine, which is not an exaggeration, because nobody, unless you're a big gym, is going to buy a $4,500. This is a scam to some degree. I got running some kind of racket in the fitness, the fitness equipment industry. But in any case, you're going in, you want dumbbells, you want barbells, all that stuff is way better for you. In my opinion, is like it just to learn that stuff though is there's a bit of a learning curve to the stuff. It's a skill to work with a dumbbell. It's a skill to work with a barbell. It's a skill. So you need somebody. So studios that are helping people understand this stuff with coaches, like all of that's like going up, and then open access is going down. So open access gyms like Planet Fitness right now, they're optimizing. So they're getting rid of cardio space. But one of the quotes here from this lady, from the CEO, is saying that like the reason why you're not doing it is because you're all fucked up on your Ozempic. And like you need strength training because you're losing all your lean mass. Because like, the studies here are showing that an incredible amount of lean mass is going. And everybody's telling you that like running is bad for you. And that like basically it's not even worth doing. So you're cutting calories, you're not running or exercising, and you're taking a drug that is like completely fucking with your ability to digest food, absorb it, and utilize it in the body in a way that like regulates your hormones. And like, so now you need to go do some weight training. So that way, like you don't literally wither away to nothing. Like your bones, your bones mineralizing your bones, dude. This is crazy. Why are people doing this? Dude, what are you doing? Like, dude, what the hell? Like, dude, just do one Google search. I mean, I'm sure it shows up in one Google search just how bad this stuff is for you. But yeah, so even big fitness literally out there is changing their gym to accommodate, these drugs, these fitness drugs. And that's not good. That's not a good thing. I think that's probably a bad thing. That would be my guess. And my take is, again, just like I started with kind of explaining the value equation. The value equation is simple. Your dream body times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice. Your dream body, guaranteed, under 30 days, no effort and sacrifice. Just go get Ozempic, and you're going to be good. And just cut your calories, one meal a day. That's all you got to do. And don't do exercise because that's bad. And there you go. And I've clicked all that and I've bought all the products. And I think that the value equation is actually, for fitness, is actually the other way around. You want to push yourself through some shit. And so this, I'm going to finish on the last story, and the last story is on CrossFit. So for all the CrossFit folks, I left this for the end because I don't want to be hung upside down by the CrossFit community and beat with a fucking like a barbell for saying anything bad about the CrossFit community. Because that's the thing about the CrossFit community, dude. Like they do like animal sacrifices in the gym, which I love. I love that. I love that about CrossFit people, that they do that. I don't take part in them, but I fucking love that they do that. They got a fucking family, they got a community, dude. It's like a go-to month. If you've ever seen Severance, you've seen Severance? No. Oh, dude, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're if I'm going to ruin it for you, I better not do that. That might be worse, actually, if I ruin Severance for you. Look, they're sacrificing animals for the fitness gods, dude. I love that shit. I'm just not taking part. But anyways, in CrossFit, the CrossFit community faced a significant tragedy in 2024. The athlete Laser Dukic died during a swim event at the CrossFit Games. This incident sparked widespread criticism over safety protocols and transparency. In response, numerous athletes withdraw from the competition and over 1,400 gyms de-affiliated from CrossFit, leading to 30% decline in open participation in 2025 so far. Dude, wow. Guys. All right, this is what I'm fucking saying. This is what I'm saying. Okay? Here's the thing about CrossFit, okay? Here's the thing about these fucking lunatics, okay? I appreciate the difficulty that it's like Super Saiyan training. It's real Super Saiyan training. These guys, I mean, you go into a CrossFit gym, you got guys there and females in there, dude, they're wrapped up from head to toe. They've got it all. They've got the adhesive tapes. They've got the rollers. You'd go in there and you'd imagine there's just a clinic going. At some point, you need to have a physical therapist in a fucking one of these CrossFit garages, just because everybody's falling apart because of how hard the workouts are. People are like coming to me. I've been a personal trainer for 11 and a half years. People come to me all the time, and I get this so often. It's just like, my shoulder went out because I was doing CrossFit. And I'm just like, yeah, that's about right. And look, I want more. This is the thing. And I'm telling you this honestly. I want more shoulders to go out. Like, I want more people to be injured doing like hard things that are difficult. And the thing about CrossFit is that if you push in CrossFit, okay? If you push in CrossFit and try to become the best at CrossFit, you'll be incredibly fit at a high risk, high reward. It's fucking Super Saiyan training. These guys are very impressive. They're athletes, but it's a sport. It's a sport. And anybody who's trying to well, they have progressions and that, dude, it's done out of a garage. It's done out of a garage. I love the garage workout, but guys, it's done out of a fucking garage. What did you think was going to happen when you went into a garage full of fucking fitness lunatics and started throwing fucking barbells above your head and your fucking name is Mrs. Jones? It's like, Mrs. Jones, what did you think was going to happen? You're going to play football with high schoolers, dude. They're putting the pads on you. And you're fucking walking in there and you're getting bulldozed by a 250-pound fucking brick shit house. And you're wondering why you got a fucking, you're wondering why you got a concussion. Because playing football will make you really fit. But guess what? It's fucking super incredibly dangerous because it's a sport. CrossFit is a sport. And you know what? It's really about taking care of your body for them. It's not if you're going to get injured, it's when. And they're doing it right. They're doing everything correctly. They're just doing it at such an intensity. That they're going to be injured. So look, here's the thing with this story, okay? 1,400 of your own Focarinos. Listen, if you are a fucking CrossFit affiliated gym and you de-affiliated from them once somebody died because these accusations of these safety protocols back in 2024, in a lack of transparency. Did somebody need to sit you down? Like, did somebody need to sit you down and be like, do you see what this guy's doing? And every CrossFitter that does any CrossFit whatsoever, even remotely correct, it's just ripped out of their face, literally ripped out of their face. And they look like they could fucking literally just pull your dead body across literally across an entire town with no problem at all. This person was built to literally just army crawl gravel, for miles. And you're and he's got a barbell on there, or she, whatever, because they're both pretty fucking, you seen them motherfuckers? They're both pretty much the same. They're so muscular and they have 230 pounds on a fucking barbell and they're just doing it like this, nothing. Nobody can even do that one time. And you were like, so is this dangerous? You were like, so is this, can somebody just, what the dangers might be doing this? I'm just like, guys, it's a bunch of fitness lunatics throwing weight around in a ridiculous fashion. It's a sport and it's entertainment. It is not a way for you to get fit by no stretch of the imagination. I don't care how you progress, because a lot of these fitness folks, they'll kill me for this. They'll say, well, we progress them and the progressions are so, and everybody's an athlete. No, they're not. Everybody's not an athlete. No, Mrs. Jones is not an athlete. Mrs. Jones wants to fucking pick her kid up and fucking walk her up the stairs. And maybe occasionally make it through a fucking hike on vacation so she doesn't miss out when like she gets older. That's what Mrs. Jones is, not an athlete. So what she's doing is she's just stupid for doing it. I'm not saying Miss Jones shouldn't do it. She's just stupid for doing it. Mrs. Jones should know. And if Mrs. Jones, let's see, spark white breakers and the protocols. Yeah, Mrs. Jones is not seeing the dangers without being fully briefed. Like, this is one of those things. This isn't like dealing with chemicals, okay, or whatever. Like, these two go together, and then if they go together, you'll die because it'll create methane gas or something, like in a car. I could see that, but this is like, hey, take this barbell, throw it above your head at like 82% of your 1 rep max, but do it for like as many reps as you can for 10 solid minutes. And in between, like every 5th rep, sprint on a free runner as fast as you can do it. Like, you're just wondering how that could be dangerous. So yeah, look, guys. This one doesn't go like, but this is crazy. Yeah, 30% decline in open participation and 1,400 gyms since that happened. Since that happened last year, 2024. But look, I'm not making light of this dude's death, man. You know, of course, shit happens, but that's the battlefield, guys. I'm gonna finish on that. I mean, because that's the battlefield. That's the thing you're missing. You're missing the thing. The thing is like, dude knew the dangers of the thing. The dude who died here, he knew the danger. He knew the price. Not saying transparency, but like, guys, every crazy athlete at that level fucking knows there is no certainty in life. Okay. There is no such thing as guaranteed safety. There's no such thing as guaranteed returns. There's no such thing as copy and paste and have fucking an income that's passive and you don't have to put any work. There's no such reality as something for nothing. Okay, that's a little bit of Socrates for you. But like, at the end of the day, though, you must give something. There is a price, and it's up to you. It's America, dude. Like, it's America, dude. People have the freedom to steal from you in America. Okay, people have the freedom to poison you in America. Like, dude, like the FDA, they poison you with no problem. They don't mind. The companies out here, the fucking supplement companies, everybody's buying all these supplements. They're poison. They don't get, dude. Like, God, we'll get into this in another one. But like, listen, like you know, like, the pre-workouts and shit. God, and yeah, wait till I get on a brand about that. But I'm just saying, like, you're poisoning. It's freedom. The freedom to poison you. It's there. And you're taking it because you see the value. It's like, this is convenient, so I'd rather poison myself. It's on you. This is dangerous. You decide to do it. You have the freedom to do it, but you have to know the fucking dangers. You have to look into the dangers. This is crazy. CrossFit's crazy. CrossFit's going to get really boring if they have to make it easy for everybody to do in the games. It's a sport. If you don't want to get a concussion, don't join a boxing club, okay? To get fit. You don't get fit doing boxing unless you do like cardio boxing, but talk to any boxer. It's not really boxing. Cardio boxing isn't really boxing. That's the idea of boxing. Fine. Do the idea of CrossFit. That's fine. But don't do CrossFit. And don't de-affiliate. Like, the actual gyms like should know this. Like, gym owners who are affiliated with CrossFit, come on, guys. Seriously. This is bullshit that you're doing that to the... I mean, how are you done sacrificing the goats? Are you gonna sacrifice the goats without being affiliated? Because now you're just sacrificing goats. It was cool before, but now you're just sacrificing goats not affiliated. Now you're just sacrificing goats. And you got to be, if you know, CrossFit, yeah, like what, you have like people coming to your CrossFit gym. I think they call them, do you know what they call them? Boxes. Yeah. You got them coming to your box. You're going to call it a box, or are you going to call it, we sacrifice goats? That's the question you have to ask yourself now that you fucking de-affiliated because of some bullshit. Because, like, you know what? I don't think that's cool. But I also don't think that there should be any, don't see any real punishments. This is just people being soft. And that's really what this comes down to. I'm one of you, just as soft as all of you. And that's why I'm doing the podcast. We're going to try to make it better. We're going to lock the door. That's one thing we're going to do. We're going to get 3 cameras. And And once we get the 3 cameras, we'll do 3 cameras for every podcast. I'm gonna stay on story. Probably not though. Probably won't. We'll see. I don't know if I have the capability. It's just gonna take a few reps. But in any case, we're gonna go over stories. We're gonna go over science. We're gonna go over fitness, and we're gonna talk about it in a way, basically. And we're gonna try to stop cussing as much. I got a cuss jar at home. Try not to cuss in front of my kid, but that's like kind of part of who I am. Anyways, Liam Ryan. He's going to be producing the podcast. So we are going to fucking do this thing, man. And if you know anybody who wants to listen to a dude rant for an hour and 20 minutes about random shit about fitness, send this podcast to them. Come and tune in. We're going to try to do Mondays. So, this would be like Monday, April, I don't know, but you'll see this on Monday. And then we're going to have a podcast out every Monday from now on. It might be a solo. It might be a guest. But we're going to have one out there for you on Monday available. And we're just going to keep getting after it. So we have one goal. This is making it public. This is our one goal, dude. Our one goal is to just bring some real fitness from people who live and die in the trenches of fitness, at least in St. Louis at first, onto this podcast. Some real information, some real stories from real people. Don't really care too much about that like fitness Instagram, like influencer bullshit. Like I really hate that. Like fucking here's my routine that I do every morning in fitness. It's all fucking bullshit. We're not gonna be talking with anybody who does dumb shit like that. That's a facade. We know that's bullshit. That's not real. People fall for that a bunch. I think that's trendy or whatever. So we'll see if we can get those guests on. We'll see if we get those guests on. If you do that, I think it's stupid. You don't actually do that. I know you don't do that. You don't do that. You shouldn't tell people because then they feel bad. They feel like I should be doing what this fitness Instagram influencer is doing, and they're just not actually doing that. So I just find it to be incredibly disingenuous. I'm going to finish this up. I swear to God. All right. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. I'm going to continue to do this stuff. We're going to continue to do this stuff. Always remember, think big, live better, and we'll see you on the next one. God damn it. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.